when a woman falls in love with a handsome man who turns out to be a cannibal. The film begins by introducing a young woman named Noah. Noah is a woman who lives alone without anyone by her side. Her father has long passed away, and Noah herself has never met her mother. In the midst of the loneliness she feels, Noah always longs to have a boyfriend. That's why she tries to find her ideal man through a dating app.
Mind paying. Well, what a weird way to start off a date.
After scrolling through several men on the app, she decides to go on a date with a guy named Chad. They go out for dinner together at a restaurant. While eating and talking, Noah realizes that she doesn't feel any connection with Chad. She thinks Chad lacks manners and has no shame.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right? It's like a couple bucks less on the tip, if that makes sense.
After the date ends, Noah directly tells Chad that she is not interested in him. Chad feels annoyed and leaves Noah. Later, Noah tells her best friend Molly about her failed date. Noah and Molly have been best friends for 7 years. Noah even sees Molly as family because Molly is the only one who truly cares about her.
Stood there like an idiot. A switch. Yeah.
One day, while Noah is shopping alone at the supermarket, she meets a handsome man named Steve. There, Steve strikes up a short conversation with her.
You're gonna have to try one. I don't want to. I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
Interested in Noah, Steve asks for her phone number so he can contact her to meet again another time. Noah doesn't mind giving him her number. Afterwards, Noah tells Molly about meeting Steve. She admits she's a bit interested in him because he speaks sweetly and has a handsome face. Besides, Noah is already tired of searching for guys through dating apps, and she hopes she can get closer to Steve. Not long after, Noah receives a text message from Steve inviting her to meet at a bar. She feels very excited and quickly goes home to get ready. That night, Noah meets Steve, and they start talking so they can get to know each other better. During the conversation, Noah feels a real connection with Steve, which makes her happy. After talking for a long time, they decide to go home. Because they've had too much to drink, both of them are really drunk. Then Noah invites Steve to her house. There, they get carried away by the moment, and eventually, they end up having sex. That beautiful night makes Noah very happy. She immediately calls Molly to tell her that she has gotten closer to Steve. Hearing Noah's story, Molly feels happy for her as well. Then Molly asks Noah to share Steve's social media account so she can see more about him. But it turns out that Steve doesn't have any social media. Molly quickly says that it's very unusual, considering how advanced the times are and that almost everyone has social media. Even so, Noah doesn't really care. If Molly is curious about Steve, Noah suggests she meet a man named Paul, the bartender who served Noah and Steve. Days pass, and now Noah is officially dating Steve. They look happy enjoying their time together.
Okay.
Steve casually asks if Noah has ever told anyone about him. Noah replies that she has only told her closest friend, Molly. Then Steve invites Noah to go on a vacation trip with him. Noah immediately agrees with the idea, and Steve promises to pick her up the next day. That night, Noah prepares the things she wants to bring. While getting ready, she calls Molly to tell her that she is going on vacation with Steve. Hearing this, Molly doesn't look happy. She feels very worried about Noah going on a trip with Steve when they haven't known each other for long. Even though Molly is concerned, she doesn't dare stop Noah from going because she doesn't want to ruin Noah's relationship. The next morning, Steve picks Noah up. Using his car, they set off for their vacation spot. During the trip, Noah sends a message to Molly letting her know they've already left. When Noah tries to tell Molly that they are heading to a place called Cottage Grove, suddenly her phone signal disappears, causing the message to be delivered to Molly very late. After several hours of a long drive, they finally arrive at Steve's house. As soon as they get there, Steve offers Noah a drink. But after drinking it, Noah suddenly feels dizzy and eventually collapses unconscious.
Sorry.
When she wakes up, Noah is shocked to find herself with her hands chained and locked in a basement. There, she sees Steve sitting in front of her. It is then revealed that Steve is actually a dangerous man. All this time, he only pretended to be kind to Noah so he could capture her. It turns out Steve is a cannibal who eats human flesh, especially women's flesh. In addition, Steve sells the flesh of the women he captures to a secret cannibal organization made up of wealthy people. Steve and the members of this organization prefer to eat women's flesh because they believe it tastes better than men's. The price of the women's flesh is extremely high, which has made Steve very rich. Besides Noah, there are also several other women being held captive by Steve. Before kidnapping them, Steve always investigates the women's backgrounds. After that, he acts like a good man to gain their trust. When the time is right, he lures them to his house where they end up imprisoned. Steve usually targets young women who live alone, like Noah, who has no family. This way, when these women disappear, no one reports them missing, and the police never look for them. Steve does not kill the women right away. Instead, he keeps them alive and takes pieces of their flesh little by little. He does this to keep the meat fresh. If he receives a request from the cannibal organization, then he cuts off more of their flesh until eventually the women die. Knowing this, Noah panics and doesn't know what to do. Steve then warns her not to resist, saying that if she doesn't stay calm, he will not hesitate to kill her. While Noah is screaming for help in her room, she hears the voice of another woman through the wall. The woman introduces herself as Penny, who has been held captive by Steve for a long time. Besides Penny, there's also another woman named Melissa who has lost her sanity from being trapped there too long. Sometime later, Steve comes to Noah with lunch. Noah refuses to eat the food, but she asks Steve to let her take a shower. Not wanting to risk Noah escaping, Steve insists on watching her while she bathes. When Steve takes Noah to the bathroom, she suddenly resists and tries to escape. Unfortunately, her attempt fails, and Steve manages to overpower her. He is forced to knock her out, leaving her unconscious. When Noah wakes up, she finds herself lying on an operating table with her body sedated. Because she tried to escape, Steve decides to punish her by cutting into her buttocks to take a piece of her flesh. Noah is unable to resist because her body is fully sedated. After taking a piece of Noah's flesh, Steve brings her back to her room. There, Noah talks with Penny, since she's the only one she can communicate with. Noah and Penny comfort each other in the middle of the terrifying situation they are facing. Both of them feel helpless, and all they can do is wait, even though no help will likely come because they are women with no families.
Always.
Meanwhile, elsewhere, Molly starts to worry about Noah, who hasn't replied to her messages. She even tries calling Noah many times, but Noah never answers. Soon after, Molly receives a text from Noah saying she is in a place called Cottage Grove. Along with the location, Noah also sends a photo as proof that she is really there, and she adds that she will turn off her phone to enjoy her vacation with Steve. What Molly doesn't know is that the one replying to her messages is actually Steve. Even though she gets some news from Noah, Molly still feels uneasy because Noah is her best friend. Curious, Molly searches the photo Noah sent on the internet and discovers it was taken from the web, and the place in the picture isn't actually Cottage Grove. From this point, Molly suspects that Noah is in danger. She tries to investigate who Steve really is, but struggles because she doesn't know his full name. Molly remembers that Noah once told her about their first date at a bar, so she goes there and meets the bartender, Paul, who had served Noah and Steve before. Molly asks Paul to help her by checking Steve's credit card transaction history to find his full name. Paul then tells her that Steve's real name is Brendan Steve Kemp. Molly immediately searches for his name online, hoping to find his social media. From her search, she learns that Steve already has a wife and 2 children. On his wife's social media account, Molly even finds Steve's home address. Determined, Molly decides to go to Steve's house to ask about Noah's whereabouts. Before entering, she sends her location to Paul in case something bad happens to her. When she arrives at Steve's house, she is greeted by Steve's wife, Anne. Molly explains that before disappearing, Noah went on vacation with Anne's husband, Steve. She also tells Anne about Steve's affair with Noah. However, Anne claims she doesn't know who Noah is. Not long after, Steve arrives home and meets Molly, but here he introduces himself as Brendan. He lies to Molly, saying he doesn't know Noah. Unsatisfied with his answer, Molly tries calling Noah's phone, and it turns out Steve has it.
I think you know her. She's missing.
Molly immediately realizes Steve has kidnapped Noah, but suddenly Anne appears behind her and hits her, knocking her unconscious. After that, Steve takes Molly to the same place where he is holding Noah captive. It is then revealed that Anne has known all along about Steve's business of kidnapping women and selling their flesh. We also see that Anne's leg is missing, cut off by Steve. Apparently, Anne was once one of Steve's victims, but for some reason, she and Steve fell in love and eventually got married. Back to Noah. After spending several days there, she begins to adapt to her situation while constantly thinking of a way to escape. Even though she and the other women are imprisoned, Steve still treats them relatively well as long as they obey and stay calm. Over the past few days, Steve often comes to visit Noah in her room, and she realizes that he seems to have feelings for her. Noah then comes up with a plan. She will get closer to Steve and gain his trust, and when the time is right, she will fight back. At first, she starts acting sweet toward him. When Steve visits her, Noah casually asks him what human flesh tastes like. Steve explains that it is extremely delicious, and in his opinion, no other meat can compare to it. A few hours later, Steve comes again and asks if Noah is truly curious about the taste of human flesh. Noah answers that she is a little curious. Hearing this, Steve invites her to try it so she can find out for herself. In reality, Noah doesn't want to eat it at all, but in order to gain his trust, she reluctantly eats the human meat in front of him to impress him.
I can get hooked to something.
After just one bite, she feels disgusted, but she hides it and pretends to enjoy it.
Be a lot more if she's still alive.
Kind of funny.
This meal is about 30.
Her acting works. Steve is impressed and starts to soften toward her. Back in her room, Noah immediately vomits the human meat she had eaten. A few days later, Steve returns, this time bringing an expensive dress and some makeup for her. He plans to have another dinner with Noah that night, but this time it will be more special, almost like a romantic date. Steve asks Noah to dress up beautifully for the evening, and he also prepares himself for the occasion. The dinner feels so important to him that he ignores Anne's messages. Once ready, Steve goes to Noah's room to pick her up and is stunned by how beautiful she looks. They sit down and begin their dinner together, once again eating human flesh. Noah is forced to act again, pretending to enjoy it so that Steve will trust her even more. Steve is delighted, convinced that Noah is different from the other women, and starts to believe she could be the right partner for him. After finishing the appetizer, Steve takes Noah to see a collection of items that once belonged to his victims. Among them are belongings of Melissa and Penny. Suddenly, Noah's eyes are drawn to a phone case that looks very familiar. She immediately realizes it belongs to Molly and understands that her best friend must also be trapped somewhere in the house. Steve then invites Noah to eat human flesh again. For the main course this time, they eat meat from a woman's chest, which Steve admits is his favorite cut. Once again, Noah is forced to eat it while pretending to enjoy it. But because she is worried about Molly's condition, she accidentally starts crying. Noah quickly explains that she is crying because the meat tastes so good. Steve believes her words and becomes even more infatuated with her. Carried away by the moment, Steve and Noah kiss, and then Noah invites him to dance. Soon after, they move to the bedroom and prepare to have sex. However, just as they are about to do it, Noah suddenly bites Steve's dick so hard that it gets severed. Steve screams in pain from the injury. Seeing the chance to escape, Noah grabs Steve's set of keys along with his phone. She then rushes to the basement to free Molly and Penny.
I'm so sorry. I'll right now. But I will.
Of course, Steve tries to stop them, leading to a fight between him and the three women. After a tough struggle, they manage to knock him out temporarily. Noah, Molly, and Penny immediately leave the house and run as far away as they can. But before long, Steve regains consciousness and chases after them, this time carrying a gun. The three women hide in the forest, and when Steve lets his guard down, they attack him together, overpowering him. Noah takes his gun and shoots him in the head, killing him. Afterward, they search for a way to escape the area. Noah goes back to retrieve her phone, which she had dropped during the fight, while Molly stays behind to watch over Penny. While Noah is looking for her phone, Anne suddenly appears. She thanks Noah for killing Steve, which confuses Noah. But then Anne suddenly grabs Noah by the throat and starts choking her. Anne does this out of anger because Noah stole Steve's heart and killed him brutally. Even though Anne knows about Steve's crimes, she still chose to stay by his side because she loved him deeply. Luckily, Molly arrives just in time and kills Anne.
Why did you let your life slip away?
Still shaken, Noah asks Molly who Anne is. Molly explains that Anne was Steve's wife and that they had 2 children together. Noah is stunned, realizing she had unknowingly been in an affair with a married man. After surviving the terrifying ordeal, Noah feels extremely grateful to Molly for coming to save her, even though it put Molly in danger as well. In the final scene, a message appears on Noah's phone. It's from Chad, the guy she went on a date with at the beginning of the story. This suggests that after everything, Noah might meet Chad again and restart their date, bringing the story to an end.